What is up, fighters? Today we're looking at the best champions for solo queue in patch 6.5. Just like my underrated video, I've been thinking maybe I should do these for every patch and then sometimes do like top 5s for the roles too. Let me know if you want to see these every 2 weeks or not. Remember to like and comment with your best pick to be featured in a future video, but let's jump in. So just to check things up a little bit, we're going to start with AD carry. You should have seen that coming. This time a fair amount has actually changed. Remember, this is my opinion and it's backed up with some stats and research I've done, and it's how best a champion is for winning a game and climbing solo queue. Jhin is our number 2 AD carry. He's climbed up the ranks a lot, and let's just start by saying AD carries are not in the best spot right now. The meta has shifted to anti-carry, like assassins, tanks that kill us, and that is how the league meta kind of works in a nutshell. We're not just looking for damage here, even though Jhin has an absolute ton of it. He doesn't necessarily have the best teamfight ever with 0 mobility, but his lane phase more than makes up for that. He does a lot of damage. His 4th bullet, the guaranteed crit, is a great easy way for trading, and he has a lot of kill potential. That's kind of what we're looking at really. If we can get ahead on Jhin, then he's amazing, and the lane phase does matter more right now. Honestly, I actually think his damage is a little bit too high, but it's weird to play so people don't realize it yet. When we get into team fights, we have our long range snipe. It's going to do damage and slow. We can set up fights with our long range W route and offer a decent amount of utility. So it's kind of weird to put Sivir here at number 1 this patch, but basically she just got this crazy buff and then the meta kind of shifted into a perfect place for her. The ricochet autos critting now is ridiculous. It's so much damage, plus her Q does a lot anyway. It makes her wave clear even better. Like, it's perfect for her. Her ultimate is her big thing, and again we're moving more into AD carries that have some damage but some utility too. We're in a meta with carry laners mid, top and jungle, so like 1, they make our lives difficult, but 2, we can just help them kill stuff. Our ultimate is great for setting up ganks or fights in lane or in mid game. You can come back into a game by catching people with it. It's all down to you and how you use it, but if you're proactive, you really have a big impact. We are semi-low range and low mobility, but good use of our spell shield can make up for that, and she is really solid right now. Let's move on to the top lane. He did get a nerf this patch and it's knocked him off the top spot, but he's a monster still. Nautilus is very easy to play. Like, you cannot really screw it up. Maybe actually if you deliberately try to fail, you will, but otherwise, come on, how badly can you actually do? Your ultimate is targeted and an amazing shutdown against assassins or AD carries. You follow that up with a hook, a root with your passive, AoE damage, and you even have a shield to make you more tanky. He's a lot like Malphite really in a way, actually. Tanky, a lot of crowd control and some damage, but he's just more well-rounded, I think. I'm not gonna lie, getting solo killed by a Nautilus as an AD carry is probably the most frustrating thing in the world. You cannot do anything, you just sit there and watch as your screen fades to black. Most champions have a huge impact when they are played properly, and because Naut is so easy, even newer players can pick him and do work in a game. So I'm actually putting Graves in the top spot this patch. He's been really good for a while, but he's kind of finally settled now and is a powerhouse. You're seeing him a lot in the LCS, in solo queue, and there's good reason. He does so much damage and he builds pretty tanky. I personally think it's ridiculous that you can almost one-shot someone while being that tanky. That should really not happen, but Graves can pull that off, especially against a wall anyway. It's weird that he used to be an AD carry, but after his rework, he's more of a bruiser now. Like, honestly, think of the same idea as kind of a Fiora, Renekton, or Darius. These champions who have a lot of damage but are secondary tanks. You're going to absorb a lot of damage on Graves. You don't play him like an AD carry anymore. You get stuck in, you take some damage, do damage. Remember, you do more damage the closer you are. You have sterics and more shields now, and you'll struggle to die. Remember as well, you can even use your ultimate to dodge stuff and stay a bit safer. This guy is borderline overpowered right now. So the mid lane is the one lane where things haven't changed too much. It's kind of the rest of the roles reacting to mid lane picks, so we're kicking this off with Zed. A good Zed is horrible to play against. He'll juke you, kill you, and it's so frustrating. He can snowball basically an entire game by himself, I think. Like, you can do well in lane, you kill your opponent a few times maybe, and then you just roam around and kill everyone else. Sure, a QSS, a Quicksilver Sash, does help, but chances are he'll just ultimate someone else and win that way, or maybe even still ult you and just kill you with his raw damage. Right now, I think Zed is pick or ban, but we'll see how long that lasts for. This is kind of my predictions, I guess, but picks are coming up now to shut them down. These champions who have damage but are tanky enough to not die to burst, and that's what Zed will struggle against. For now though, he is an amazing pick. I don't think anyone is going to be surprised by this, but Lux is the best all-around mid laner right now. She's kind of turning into the old Ahri in a way. Zed actually probably has more game impact if he gets fed, but Lux as a general pick is way more reliable and so better I think for climbing solo queue. What I mean is like Lux will do well in most lanes. She can farm from range if she needs to, she can kill them if they mess up and survive lanes with her shield and her bind. When ahead she is great. You catch people and you one-shot them to force them away from towers or just start fights with an advantage. When you're behind you kind of, well actually you do the same thing. You one-shot people but it stops them pushing and gives your team time to come back. Poke in general is not the best for solo queue because your team kind of needs to wait for you to do it first, but Lux has enough burst and utility in a team fight that it doesn't matter. She's so well rounded right now and going to do well consistently. Let's move into the jungle for the next one, and Udyr is back, but not quite a number 1 anymore. He did get hit by a nerf. They also nerfed Iceborne Gauntlet and Runic Echoes, and that Runic Echoes nerf was so obviously aimed at Udyr. Well, it didn't work anyway. This guy is so annoying, and he's still really good. Genuinely, this guy tilts me so hard. It's like a game to him, honestly. He runs at you, taunts you a little bit, gives you the tip and teases, and then just runs away. He absorbs so much damage, but it's so hard to lock him down and kill him, especially like with the Merc Treads buff. I know most people go swiftness, but against heavy CC, Merc Treads are really good. So basically, like, you can't kill him. But if he wants to kill you, then there's no way to escape ever. He has a good early impact. He's tanky, he does damage, he's strong early, like he ganks well, he clears fast, and he gets stronger as the game goes on. This one might not be as obvious that he's still this strong, but chances are that's because he has an insane ban rate right now. But when he does get through, his win rate is so high too. Number 1, and some people said this Devourer nerf this patch was the end of Devourer junglers. Well, it turns out it didn't make any difference at all. Shyvana has kind of creeped up quietly in the shadow of Master Yi and Udyr, but now suddenly people have realized how strong she is, and she's, in my opinion, pick or ban right now. Also on the PvE next patch, she has some nasty nerfs lined up, slowing her clear speed right down and reducing her burst by a ton, so abuse this pick while you can. Her clear speed is crazy, she stays healthy, her ganks are good, nothing special, but in team fights she just demolishes people. Like she builds Devourer, right, then Titanic Hydra and full tank, so she's tanky but does a stupid amount of damage. She deals with assassins well, she shuts down AD carries, but there isn't really much of an answer to her later into the game. Like sure, you can shut her down early, but if you don't manage to, then you're really in trouble. Overall, she's like a more reliable kind of version of Master Yi, I guess, and she is on top right now. Support wise, we're looking at 2 defensive supports this time, and you know normally I prefer carry supports, but these 2 are just really good. This one is funny. I called this a buff last patch and most people said it was going to be a nerf. Well, Soraka is even better right now. It's also kind of funny, she's actually the only support who gets banned really, but it's mainly due to how annoying she is. Like the champion herself isn't that overpowered or anything, but it's just dealing with her is so difficult in a game. Ideally you need to kill her. If you leave her at the back, then you're going to lose the fight, but that means that you have to run past basically everyone else and let the carries do damage to you while you focus the support. That is why she's number 2. That whole concept is stupid. It's hard to work around and it makes her so hard to deal with. If you can't deal with her, then she'll stand at the back. She'll heal everyone, keep people alive, slow you, even AoE silence your team. In lane, she's still good. She kind of relies on her AD carry doing most of the work, I guess, but that's fine. Like worst case, your AD carry just farms up and that's never a bad thing. Janna is going to be our top support, and I mean, she's been at the top for a while now, really. Statistically, Janna is one of the best champions to ban right now because she has an insane play rate and win rate, which together normally makes an overpowered champion. The thing is, like, the stuff that Janna often does goes semi-unnoticed. She's like the carry that you don't realize. That clutch shield, that knock up, that ultimate to knock you away, or even the healing from it preventing someone from dying. There are a ton of ways that Janna changes the outcome of a team fight, but they're subtle, so people don't realize as much. In the lane phase, she's okay, but she doesn't have too much of an impact, I guess. You can shield, you can knock up, but those 2 combined are not as high impact as a lot of other supports, so you kind of rely on your AD carry and surviving until later. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, share, and for now I'll leave you with the robots.